Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of War. And today I have your weekly preview for the week of August 7th, 2023. So we're going to get into the SOULFORGE, the Tower of Doom, the Epic Trials, the Underspire, all that kind of good stuff. Genki drop table, traitstone, glory shop, everything else that's going on this week. Let's go. There should be chapters eventually after I post this video, and maybe right away. So go down right above the progress bar, hit that little white arrow, and you can go to any section that you would like. So if you see the video and it's 30 plus minutes long, you don't have to watch every single thing. You can just hit the chapters. I'd really appreciate it. Hit that like button, leave a comment, help out the Sinnycool channel, please. All right, let's go. Be Jeweled, a new epic troop, Jeweled Golem. Get this troop with glory from the rewards tab of the shop. That thing looks like it has some potential. Tower of Doom, defeat Dooms and gain points for your guild. Build a team from a color, brown, and search for the Dooms. Go check out my video. It will be linked at the end of this video in the bottom left-hand corner. But, yeah, I have 3 teams on there, high, mid, low, and you need to know the info this time because they changed it up. So it's new rules, new rewards. Go check it out. The Dread Captain's Chest. The campaign has started. New rewards every week. Don't miss out. New Mythic Troop Virago, exclusive to Glory Gem Guild and VIP Chest for 1 week only. As soon as Friday starts, that troop is out of there, and it's not very good. If you skipped it, kudos to you. Great job. Legends Reborn, Adana, replay the Kingdom story and unlock new pets for the Kingdom. So that's, I think this week is the last week for that. So if you haven't done the quest yet, if you haven't got all your dingleberries yet, if you haven't bought the Tesla pet yet, now's the time to do it. Don't forget to do it by Sunday. Week of Broken Spire. All Broken Spire troops gain 10% to skills. Week of Constructs. All Constructs gain 10% to their skills. And bonus gold. Use the Jeweled Golem in PvP and Explore to gain 400 gold. Alright, SOULFORGE. Tiamata might be the best one this week, which isn't saying too much because it is an average to below average mythic. Deal damage to all enemies, then create 3 4 times wild cards. That could backfire real bad. It's only 3. Gain 10 life when an enemy casts a spell. 25% chance to create a ×2 wild card with matching 4 or more gems. Reduce damage from skulls by 30%. Yeah, it's like a C+ tier mythic. Maybe, at best. Sparkinator would be next. 22 blue, red, yellow, Adana mech. Steal armor from all enemies, then create 10 bomb gems, then explode a random gem. Not good. It's a defensive mythic, and there's probably better defensive mythics out there. You don't want those. You want a mythic that's going to have an extra turn, or have a really cool third trait, or do super heavy damage, or do like a really ton of mana generation or something. This one does not do that. War is 20 blue, red, brown, Apocalypse Daemon Knight. Burn all enemies, deal damage to an enemy boosted by my attack, gain an extra turn if the enemy dies. With no good traits. 50% chance to ignore armor with skull damage. Plague, 20 blue, green, purple, Daemon Fae. It's an Apocalypse mythic, which means it just doesn't contribute to your kingdom level and power, which makes them even worse. Eliminate points of a random skill from all enemies, poison and disease them. Enemies lose 3 skill points on 4 or 5 gym matches, impervious, and deal double skull damage versus diseased enemies. One of the worst in the game, even though it has some of the coolest troop art in the game. Same with War. It's bottom 10. This is a bottom 10 at best, and this is like bottom 5 at best. Terrible. So War and Plague are terrible, but if you don't have them, I understand collection purposes, but I hope you have every single top 20 mythic before you start crafting War and Plague, or even the Sparkinator or Tiamata. Alright, hopefully we have some sort of good legendary. Sekma's the best thing, kind of underrated, but still not a top 5 legendary, not a top 10 legendary. You should completely skip the SOULFORGE unless you already have all the top 20 mythics and all the like top 10 legendaries and all the decent weapons, and now you're just grabbing things that you're missing for collection purposes. You're the only person who should craft anything. Sekma, 18 red, purple. Pride Lance Raksha Mystic, transform blue gems to skulls and transform brown gems to yellow. Deal damage to an enemy boosted by all other allies' magic. So it's a double transform, that's nice, and it does damage. Gain 2 magic on red gem matches, it just doesn't have any good traits, but it's still a double convert. It could be useful, It's not bad. Alright, Mulak, 14 red, yellow, white helm, Daemon. Drain all mana from an enemy, deal true damage, boosted by mana drain. Single target damage with no good traits. Queen Grapple Pod is 17 green, yellow, Zasian Goblin. Deal damage to all enemies, boosted by ally and enemy goblins, gain an extra turn. Just doesn't do enough damage to be worth using. And Regent Caliph is 14 red, purple, Leonis Empire, Human Mystic. Gain 4 magic, and either gain 44 life, or deal 44 damage to all enemies, or gain 10 more magic. So he's the or. Those aren't good because you never know what they're going to do, so you can't count on them for anything. You can't really build a team around it because you never know what he's going to do. 25% chance to summon the Tao when I die. It might be one of the worst legendaries in the game. It's not great. It's definitely below average at best. So yeah, Sekma would be the best craft if you're really collection purposes, you know, you want to craft something for some reason, you just got a ton of diamonds from the vault event, you just opened all your vault keys, and now you have a ton of diamonds, and you have all the great mythics and all the good legendaries, and you're just doing collection purposes, and you wanted to know, like, what's the best thing in here, because you're missing all of them, and you're just collecting them, I would say Sekma and then Tiamata. Weapons! Ooh, look at this. Some of these weapons that we couldn't get previously. So I'm going to craft those. Axe of Fire. Slashing Embers. I didn't know there would be 2 of them. What are those? Alright, so we got the Doomed Band. You're going to get this in the Tower of Doom shop. Don't get it here because it's 800 diamonds, which is way too much. Only grab old Doomed weapons that are good in the SOULFORGE when they're not in the shop for the Tower of Doom. If a weapon's in the shop for the current event, you want to buy up to the weapon in the shop in the current event and get it that way, because you then get sigils and other stuff, potions, while you're getting the weapon. Here, you're just only getting the weapon, you're wasting diamonds to get it here. But Doomed Band is bad, but you have to use it to get double the Dooms this week in the Tower of Doom event. It's the new rule, and there's new rewards if you do that. You only have to use it on the Doom room, so you could switch back and forth if you want to. It's just a pain in the butt. Axe of Fire. Deal damage to the first enemy, then create 7 red gems. That's new. It's notable because it's new, not because it's good. Slashing Embers. Convert all gems in an upwards or downwards diagonal into burning gems. Deal scatter damage. That sounds convoluted, but it was new as well. The Molten Ward, barrier myself, then give armor to all allies, boosted by burning gems. If I am burning, gain an extra turn. Fire God's Heart, explode red gems, grant a random status effect to all Broken Spire allies, and summon a Broken Spire troop. Nice to have in your arsenal. I think I used it on one of my teams, maybe Underspire. We got Womp. Deal damage to an enemy, boosted by Broken Spire allies, and create a mix of red and brown gems for each Broken Spire ally. Another one that's nice to have in your arsenal. Doomed Gavel, if you missed it, I guess. Shager's Spine, deal damage to an enemy, boosted by giant allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and brown gems for each giant ally. Another nice one to have in your arsenal. When I say that, I don't mean you should get it. I just mean that collection purposes. Doomed Club is the only thing in the entire SOULFORGE that you probably can't leave this week without. It's actually that good to where you would want to grab it. Deal damage to all enemies, +1 per tempering level. Transform green gems to Doom Skulls. If the enemy has a Doom, create 5 more. Gain 3 mana for each brown enemy. It's good on the Truffles Shuffle team if you don't have the Doomed Glaive. Doomed Glaive is the best Doomed weapon in the game, but if you happen to not have it, Doomed Club is a suitable replacement, and you should have it because it's the best brown Doomed weapon in the game, and you should use your brown scrolls on it. Flammifer is good as well. It'd be the second best thing in the entire SOULFORGE. Create 10 red gems, deal damage to an enemy, boosted by red gems. Use that with Zul'Goth, with Fireblade, stuff like that. Craft Doomed Club if you don't have it. Move on to Flammifer, and then after that it would be Sekma. That's the story of the SOULFORGE. Doomed Club, Flammifer, Sekma. But Sekma's not necessary, but Doomed Club is necessary, Flammifer is close to necessary, and then Sekma is just the best troop. It's not necessary. Alright, so that was the SOULFORGE. Let's go check out that Tower of Doom real quick. I'll just explain to you how to do it. You're going to have a scout. Your guild should have a scout, or 5. 1 to 5 scouts. And they're going to run through every single room on every single level. And they're going to let you know what's in every single room on every single level. And then you're only you, as a non-scout, are only going to hit the unlocks, the lucks, the heroisms, the fireballs, and the hastes. That's it. Don't hit armor, don't hit magic, don't hit anything else. Because those boons, that's what they're called, boons. The magic scrolls, the armor scrolls, the attack scrolls, the life scrolls are called boons. And so is the power scroll, which I don't recommend either. They just give you points towards a stat. They don't even give you a stat. You have to collect a bunch of them to even get a stat. So there's diminishing returns. Let the scouts get those, and then don't... I mean, if your guild wants to collect the power, or if everybody decides together, okay, we're going to collect the power, that's fine. If everybody decides together, okay, we're going to collect the magic, that's a waste in my opinion, but that's fine. It's a waste of sigils, but that's fine. Every single room costs a sigil. Every single guild, every single person's Tower of Doom is different, except for within their own guild. So everybody in your guild has the same exact rooms, the same tower. But you can't. Mine's not going to be the same as yours. So you have to listen to your scout from your guild. But every room takes a sigil. That's why you only want to hit the rooms that I told you to hit. Unlock, luck, heroism, fireball, and haste. Because every time you take a different one, you're going to waste a sigil on an armor, or an attack, or a magic, or a life, and not get anything out of it. Diminishing returns. Also, the leaderboard is terrible. But yeah, follow your scout. Only hit... Even heroism is getting less and less important, because if you use a heroism right now, you will not... You only get one doom, I think. I have yet to test it. I'm going to test it and let you know. Come to my live stream on Wednesday, by the way, 10 a.m. EST. I'll show you everything in that live stream on top of this. But heroism scrolls give you instantly defeat a boss room, so you don't need to do any of the rooms. And you should do it on a floor that has no lucks on it, or no fireballs, or no heroisms, because you don't get anything from the 4 rooms. You only defeat the boss, you only go to the next floor, you only get one doom point. So I think heroism has fallen off, and you shouldn't use them anymore, because you can use the doomed band and get double points now for the Tower of Doom boss. Yeah, you need to buy up to this doomed band, and use it when you're killing the doom. So after you get the unlock, after you grab the lucks and the haste and all that, when you're actually fighting the Doom boss each floor, you have to use the Doomed Band to get double points. And they added more rewards here, and that's why you're going to do that. Then if you decide it's too much trouble and you're not going to use the Doomed Band, well then say goodbye to Shiny Keys, Orb of Minions, Shiny Tokens, and more Shiny Keys. Sorry. But yeah, you got to use the Doomed Band. I have a video on it. Go check it out if you need the teams. I have a video. Go watch that. High, mid, low teams. Using the Doomed Band to get the double points. But that's Tower of Doom, basically. Let me know if you have any questions. I've done videos on this a billion times, so I'm not going to go super far into it. But yeah, that's mostly the general basics of the Tower of Doom. Glory Shop. Grab your Spoils of War. I'm going to remind you every single time, because you should grab it every single week, no matter who you are. Jeweled Golem looks pretty cool. I haven't got to use it yet, though, so I can't say 100%. It does look pretty good, though. 13, a purple, brown, broken spire, construct. Explode a gem. Then create 1 × 3 wildcard, with 2 more for each brown gem destroyed. Now imagine you destroy 4 brown gems, which is probably the max. You're going to end up getting 9 × 3 wildcards, which is pretty good. It deals double skull damage for stunned enemies. It reduces damage from skulls by 50%. Now, you wouldn't want to cast it if you're only going to blow up like 1 brown gem or no brown gems, or maybe even 2. But if you have 3 or 4, you cast it, and you're probably going to get an extra turn with 9 wild cards going onto the board, or 7 wild cards going onto the board. So, I don't know. Is he better than like a Centurion? I don't know yet, but he's similar to Centurion. Definitely something you should grab. You should always get the Glory Shop Troop. And it comes in with 2 Arcane Skull trait stones per, which is purple and brown. Let's go check those out and see what we can get with that trait stone. Arcproxy Yavendra. Doom of Arachnia. Conjure an Uber Doomstorm when an enemy dies. The only thing in the entire game that can conjure an Uber Doomstorm, I'm pretty sure. Phoenix has Phoenix's Blessing. Bless and enchant a random ally when I match 4 or more gems. Obsidious has Earthquake. Stun all enemies on 4 or 5 gem matches. Ferris Ra, if you're still somehow soul farming, which I don't understand, but do you, boo? Do you? Whatever floats your boat. Necromaster, gain 150% bonus souls from battle. It's nice to have, though. It's kind of like those weapons in the SOULFORGE that they're nice to have in your arsenal. It's nice to have in your arsenal. I think it's completely unnecessary, but yeah. It is a thing, and it's worth mentioning that it has 150% bonus souls from battle, which is the most in the game. It's the Cedric of Souls. Yasmin's Chosen has Wild Vines. Entangle a random enemy when matching green, and she's going to match a lot of green. Chernabog has that dust plume. It's pretty important when you're using Chalcedony. I always use Chernabog with Chalcedony whenever I can, and that dust plume is the reason why. So now's the time to get that trait stone from the Glory Shop and fully trait Chernabog. If that's been your problem, every time you see my Chalcedony team, you're like, yeah, but I don't have Chernabog fully traded. Well, you could have went to a kingdom and you could have done Explore and got the trait stones, and it's not super hard. But now you could just go buy them from the shop and get them and do it right now. So Dust Plume, definitely important to get, and 100% Chernabog uses this trait stone. So you can do it right now. Glaceon has 65% skull reduction, which is awesome. Magnus has Experiment, inflict a random status effect on 4 or 5 gem matches. Matron Dragatani, 75% spell reduction, like the highest in the game. Just notable. Not something you have to do, but notable. Daughter of Ice is an empowered converter, converts red gems to blue and conjures an ice storm. Nice one to have. Drake Rider is kind of notable. It has that 100% chance to summon a Drake on death, so it has pretty much double the HP and armor and everything, because if it goes down and it doesn't get stunned before it goes down, it's going to 100% summon a Drake. So it's like having 2 troops in one. Alright, so that was the trait stone in the Glory Shop. So let's go check out the event key drop table, which right now is Broken Spire. You can see it right there. It's written under event chests. Broken Spire. That means you can only get Broken Spire troops from event keys, so don't be expecting to get like High King Iron Gut or the new Mythic or anything else. You're only getting Broken Spire troops from the event chest, which is nice because you can target down specific Mythics. It takes all the other ones out of the drop table, and it lets you know which ones you're going to get. Instead of rolling on 100 different Mythics and getting a random one that's maybe the worst one in the game, you know that you're going to get Broken Spire Mythics, so now you're only rolling on 2 or 3 Mythics, and if you need them, and you need them, and you know they're there, then it's way better to target them down with event keys like this. That's why you save your event keys, and you don't just throw them whenever. You wait until a certain kingdom where you actually need a good Mythic, and then you do that. You throw them then, and hopefully you have thousands. Alright, Broken Spire, we have Amarok, we have Infernus. So, Amarok is okay. It's like an above-average Mythic. It's not great. It's not one of my favorites. It could devour. It's deal damage to an enemy. There's a 10% chance to devour them, boosted by red gems and burning enemies. If the enemy dies, create 9 red gems. It has burn and stun a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. It has 50% skull reduction. It's like above average. But Infernus is more than above average. It's probably B- or so. It used to be a top 10 Mythic when it first came into the game. If it was your first Mythic ever, if you've saved up somehow, you saved up like 1,000 or 2,000 event keys and you don't have any Mythics yet and you're just looking for your first one, Infernus is pretty good. It's not the best as your first one, but it's just, that's what I always think about whenever I think of Infernus. I think, oh, if it was my first Mythic, that'd be pretty sick. Or, like, burning all enemies. That's the 2 things I think of with Infernus. 25 red, yellow, purple. Broken Spire, Divine Elemental. Deal splash damage to 2 random enemies. Explode 5 random gems. So it's doing multiple things there. It's hitting multiple enemies. It's pretty much hitting all 4 of them because it's doing splash damage. And it's doing splash damage to 2 random enemies. So most likely it's going to hit all enemies. It could kill something as well. Explodes every single time you cast it. 5 random gems. Then it burns all enemies on 4 or 5 gem match. And it summons a firestorm when an enemy dies. So it's pretty good with like Fireblade if you have it. Doing that triple skull damage to burning enemies. It's a good way to burn them before you get Zul'Goth. So before you have Zul'Goth, Infernus is the way to go if you're trying to use Fireblade triple skull damage. He's decent. He's like, I would say Infernus is probably top 30? Top 30? Something like that. Top 40 for sure. He did not make my top 20 Mythics, but he was in the conversation. He's borderline top 20. He used to be top 10. He's only fallen because other things have come into the game. He didn't fall because he got worse. He just fell because other things came in that were slightly better. And then he just kept getting knocked down and knocked down. Magma Dragon's good, but you get it in the Underworld. You can get it pretty easily, and it's pretty good for some stuff this week. Shegra is good. It got a boost. It got a buff. I can't remember the buff, but it is a little bit better now. It used to be awesome, and then it kind of got a little bit overshadowed and worse. I don't even know. Maybe it got nerfed. I can't remember. But now it's kind of back in action. I use it on Red Guild Wars Day. It's pretty good. It's like so close to being a really, really good legendary, but it is a good one. 14 red, brown, Broken Spire, Elemental Dragon, create 7 red gems and convert all red gems to skulls. You want to have the alignment and the conversion before you cast it, but if you don't, you're going to create 7 red, and hopefully some of those 7 make it to where you have it, which is nice. It's kind of like Lord of Slaughter, where he makes the brown and then he does it. That way you don't exactly have to have it. You could just make it happen yourself. Shegra does the same thing. And it also has burn a random enemy when matching red gems and deal double skull damage versus burning enemies. So nice. It's elemental, it's dragon, you can 50% start it, and it's kind of like a skull spam troop. So if you're throwing event keys, you're hoping for Infernus, and your consolation prize would be Shegra. If you get Amarok, it wouldn't be terrible. Pygra's pretty good. Isn't mentioned very often, but is pretty decent. It's one of those overlooked, overshadowed, underrated troops. 12 red, yellow, Broken Spire monster. Create 7 red gems, then explode 21 red gems. There's a 30% chance to summon a Pygra. So really good mana generator that uses the color that summons. And it has a Firestorm too, potentially, if an enemy dies. You got Ogress, second best bounty troop in the game. When you're playing bounty, you got to be using Ogress and Tigraki. So if you don't have her yet, it might be worth throwing a few to get just her, and hope that you get lucky and get Shegra too, maybe. But yeah, that's Broken Spire. Infernus is the best. That's what you're hoping for. Shegra would be an awesome consolation prize, and along the way, hopefully you get Ogress. So that's the event key drop table. What else is going on this week? Alright, so today, you're going to be doing your campaign, right? You're going to be doing your Tower of Doom, following your scout. You're going to be maybe finishing up Legends Reborn, maybe getting started on Epic Trials, Underspire, all that stuff. Tons of stuff on Monday. Some of it you can do throughout the whole week. You don't need to cram it all in today. But, yeah. If I was going to tell you exactly what to do today, start with your campaign, get that out of the way. Then do your adventure board, then do your dungeon. Then start working on probably Tower of Doom and just get a few floors knocked out and go from there. You know, do a couple Epic Trial battles, do a couple Underspire battles, check on your Legends Reborn, see how far you are there. Yeah, that's what I would recommend for today. Tomorrow you got the Faction Assault of Fire Rift. I'll have a video for that at Reset, so make sure you check in to the channel. Tune in on Tuesday morning. I should have that for you. Wednesday, we got the new pet. I think it's Skalg's cat or something. It's a cat. No, it's Cat Day. International Cat Day. Dummy. Thursday's Warlord. Warlord is not a good class. It's a fire class, so it has that fire blade, triple skull damage to burning enemies. So it's notable in that you will use it with your Phoenicia team until you get it to 100. And it can do that triple skull damage to burning enemies, but it's the worst one out of all of those. There's like 6 fire classes, and it's number 6. And this weekend, what do we have? I think Bounty, because we're getting that new Bounty troop. Yeah. So Ogress is available in the event key drop table. Make sure you grab her before the Bounty gets started, right? Isn't Bounty this weekend? Yeah, we got a new Bounty troop. It's like that tree guy, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Bounty right there. 3 days, 18 hours. So Bounty this weekend. Best event in the game yesterday, Vault event. And now we have the second best single-player event this upcoming weekend. So lots of good loot flying around. We found Slug Hoarder in Zhejian. Where else would you find a sketchy goblin? He had indeed heard of Dread Captain Grimm's treasure map and believed it might be guarded by an ancient jeweled golem on Broken Spire. Slayer, kill enemies in any battle except training. Brown Slayer, kill brown enemies in any battle except training. And Gravekeeper, match skull gems in any battle except training. These are all going to get done maybe scratch what I said earlier, because your campaign's just going to get done while you do other stuff. So don't specifically concentrate on your campaign. Just go do your adventure board, do your dungeon, get started on the Tower of Doom, maybe do a couple epic trial battles, maybe do a couple Underspire battles, maybe open some vault keys, stuff like that today. And you don't need to even look at this until you think you're done with it. All right, we're getting some writs, which is always nice. I love writs. We're getting some, you guys are getting some gems and some copies of Poly. More writs for me. I love writs. Lodestar. Man, you guys are getting Lodestar. That's a good weapon. And some more gems. Lodestar. Convert 3 green gems to booty gems, then convert all yellow gems to doom skulls. So it sounds alright, you know? If you're going to gold farm and you want some skull damage as well, yellow gems to doom skull, it's converting all the yellow gems to doom skull. That's pretty cool. And it won't let me see its perks, but I forget what it has on it. It seems decent. I don't think it's going to change the game or anything, but it's a good weapon. And then we're getting armor. So if you're using Guard's Avatar, for example, for the Tower of Doom, you can get a little bit of extra armor towards that. Or if you're using Rowan in your dailies, or Tesla and Explorer, or the Underworld, hey, we're getting a little bit of extra armor for those awesome troops. Underspire first, because it's a little bit quicker. We'll finish with the epic trials, which takes longer because I want to run a battle, and I run an epic trial battle to show you that the stuff I'm talking about works. I'm just going to tell, I'm going to show. Alright, here's the Underspire. So we have to use Broken Spire troops. So I got a team for you there, as you can see. This thing's available in the SOULFORGE right now. Fire God's Heart. It explodes red gems, grant a random set effect to all Broken Spire allies, then summon a Broken Spire troop. We got Ogress. Awesome mana generator, going to pull herself to the front. Will summon a Fortress Gate when it dies. We have 2 summons on this team. You can't go wrong. Magma Dragon. Really good troop. Hits all enemies. Hits them hard. Makes a lava storm, which is red and brown. And then it does damage boosted by red and brown. So we got 2 of those. Get them in the Underworld. They're super easy to get. You should have them by now. It's one of the troops you target when you go to the Underworld when you're like level 300. So if you're level 500 and you don't have Magma Dragon yet, you need to get that all done. You need to go watch my Delve Guide playlist or my TLDR 130-minute video that recaps all of that. You need to watch one of those and get all the good troops from the Underworld because they're easy to get and they're really good, like Magma Dragon. So Fire God's Heart, Ogress, Magma Dragon, Magma Dragon. We're going to get up the Fire God's Heart, cast it. That'll get up Ogress. We'll cast that. She'll pull herself to the front, and then we'll have Magma Dragons to cast and win. This is going to be good early. Later on, we might have to use something different, but for now, if you're doing it for free, if you're going to boss 3 or 4, this will be completely fine, and it might even keep working the whole way, because Ogress, 100% chance it summons when it dies, so she's going to pull herself to the front. If she dies, she'll summon the Fortress Gate. Now you got a Fortress Gate up there. If that dies, you got Fire God's Heart summoning Broken Spire allies. So you're really hard to kill, and you're doing tons of damage, AoE damage, back to back to back to back while they're killing your stuff and you're summoning stuff back in. You're just doing damage, 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 damage. So you're going to be fine, no matter who you are. And this isn't even a high-level team. It's a mid-level team, but it's a mid-level team with legendaries from the Underworld. So it's like in between. It's not even, it's like a low-mid team. It's a low-mid team. So everybody should be able to use this. Everything's available right now. Literally right now, you can go get every single thing on this team. There's nothing you can't get. SOULFORGE, event keys, Underworld. Simple. All right, let's go run it. We'll run a battle just to show you. And by the way, I ran Underspire. I did it completely for free last week, and just to see how far I could get. I got the 3rd boss. So you can 100% chance get the 3rd boss totally for free. Which means you should probably just get the 2nd boss for free because the 3rd boss sucks. But I wasted like 10 torches while I was getting to the 3rd boss. I actually made it 2 doors into the 4th area. That's how far I made it for free. And I wasted 10 torches. So I could have made it 10 more torches from there. I probably could have made it to the 4th boss if I did a perfect. If I did a perfect the whole way. Perfect 1, perfect 2, perfect 3, and perfect 4. you could potentially get the 4th boss completely for free. But it's like the dungeon. You know, how many times do you get a perfect in the dungeon? That's about how many times you're going to get a perfect in the Underspire. So I still recommend doubling the first boss's loot if you're doing the Underspire completely for free, because there's no guarantee you're going to make it to the 4th boss, and the first boss is the best loot when you're doing the Underspire for free. If you know you're going to make it to the 4th boss, then wait to use your lantern until there. If you are going to spend a bunch of gems on the Underspire and you're going to the 6th boss, save your lantern for the 6th boss. It doesn't really cost too much to go super far and go all the way in the Underspire each week. I think it's like 1,000 gems or less. But with everything else going on in the game, they're just sinking our gems so fast. So you got to pick one thing or the other. You can't be doing dungeon, buying Dragonite every single day, and doing the Underspire and going all the way to 7 every day, and doing the events a little bit harder to go get the shiny keys every day, and buying merchants and and offers. You can't be doing all of that. There's no way. No matter who you are, there's no way. You're going to be going down, and that's their goal right now, is to make you go down. They want those gems back. So, the goal is to get up the weapon or the Ogress and cast it, but sometimes you can just get up the Magma Dragon and bang! Use those Nisha medals. I'm using Titan class to 50% start the Ogress, so she's even easier to get up, so both of these have 50% start. Both are mana generators. And then we're giving a positive status effect to these 3 down here, and then we have all this summoning action with all this AoE action. So it's really good. Check it out. Here's the team code. I think it's something you should use at least to the 3rd boss. And then maybe we switch to an Infernus or an Amarok team later. Shagra even, maybe. But I think this will take you this has a lot of legs. It'll take you at least until Wednesday when I have a live stream, and you can ask me then, what are you going to use on the 7th boss? Well, I'm going to do free, so I'm probably not going to the 7th boss. But yeah, I'll try to help you out at the live stream on Wednesday at 10 a.m. EST if you need a different team for super deep. Even though this could make it because of all the summoning, and you could just keep casting Magma Dragon, it'd probably be fine. But there's the team code. That's the Underspire. If you need to know how to play the Underspire, I did a guide on it. Go check out the guide. The only thing that's different is, hey, if you're going to make it, like how far you can make it for how much. I've, realized it's a little bit easier to get further now. So that part of the video you probably shouldn't listen to, which is just a very small part of it. And then the doubling of the loot with the lantern. If you're doing it for free with no gems, double the first boss's loot. If you're spending on it, you're getting torches every day with gems, then save your lantern and use it on the 4th or the 6th boss. Tribute. You know what you can do in the Underspire? If you buy the torches every day, like the 1st and the 2nd every day, you never need the 3rd. Unless you're totally going the wrong way all the time and going backwards and stuff, then maybe you need the 3rd torch, but you only need the 1st or 2nd torch every day, right? So if you're spending that 1,000 gems each week, you can get enough orbs to fully a mythic every week. So you could do 4 mythics a month. You could fully High King Iron Gut, and then fully Phoenicia, and then fully Scourge of Honor, and then fully the next one, Mistralis. You could fully a mythic every single week if you go all the way to the 7th boss or even 6th boss in the Underspire each week, because you're getting the small glory orb, the silver one, and a gold one each time, and that's all you need to fully a mythic fully elite a mythic. So pretty cool. You can fully elite 1 mythic a week from now on if you do that. So let's go check out the epic trials. We're in Broken Spire. And here's the team I was using. Volcanic Golem, Sulfur Slime, Terraxis, Shagra. So the idea here is Volcanic Golem has a 50% skull reduction. It has deal double skull damage versus burning enemies. So once again, we're using skull damage. That's the way to go, because we can do double skull damage versus burning enemies. It explodes a gem, burn a random enemy for every red gem destroyed, gain life and armor. So it can keep itself with life and armor. And it can burn everybody on the other team, and then do double skull damage versus burning enemies. So he's in first slot, he's our tank. he's going to be doing heavy skull damage. Sulfur Slime is next because it creates 5 yellow gems and convert all yellow gems to red. Eliminate 40 points on a random skill from an enemy. Reason that's in second is because I want it to be the next thing taking red. I want it to get up second because it can make a ton of red on the board and get everybody else up. Terraxis is in third because it deals damage to all enemies and transforms blue gems to brown to boost the effect. It can help get either Volcanic Golem back up or Shegra up. Shegra's in last because we don't need Shegra up until later in the battle, and by the time Volcanic Golem gets up and casts and burns everybody, and then gets up again, we're not going to cast it, and then it's not blocking Shegra. And then we can cast this and make a bunch of brown and get up Shegra, and then we're only going to cast Shegra when we have alignment and we're ready to go, and we don't want it to backfire. So Shegra's in the back because we're going to cast it later in the battle, and it's going to get up just fine once we get up Volcanic Golem, cast it, and get it up again and everything, and get everything going and rolling. So do double seasons, Anu, or triple seasons, because we're going down the skull route. Okay, so first goal, get up that Volcanic Golem or the second slot. So one of those two. Got purple extra turn. That gave us blue and brown. Okay, we got the Volcanic Golem, so we're going to cast it. We need to hit as much red as possible. That way we can, let's get this purple first. That way we can burn every single enemy, and then every skull that we take is going to do double damage from then on out. All 4 are burnt. All 4 are able to be burnt. You could also blow these up and get a ton of mana, but you could also give the whole enemy team mana as well. It's one of those type of deals. All right, we need blue. We don't have it, so let's just get this guy up. We're going to leave him up once we get him up. And yeah, this thing is annoying. It makes a bunch of skulls. It's the thing that's going to kill you, most likely. So far, it looks like. This is only the first epic trial, so I can't tell you everything. But bang, a bunch of damage right there. All right, we got this guy. He's going to make a ton of red. We can eliminate... It's like a random skill from an enemy, so just cast it on the first slot until you get it down in HP. So it might hit their attack. Alright, so now we got pretty much everybody up. Let's look for alignment. So it's blue to brown. I don't see it. So we don't have it, we're not going to cast it. Let's take this green. Don't have it, we're not going to cast it. So we're going to end up casting probably this. And we'll keep going on him. Extra turn there. Now we got Shegra, and we got Shegra alignment. And they're burnt, so a good time to cast it. And now, this is the hard part. Okay, we got double skull right here. But let's do this first. Right here. Bang, bang, almost dead. 50% skull reduction helping us there. And if your Volcanic Golem starts to get low on health, you might want to cast it. But for now, we're just going to keep killing. Another thing, this guy also has 50% skull reduction and double versus burning enemies. I just like this thing up a slot because it's I want it to get the red first. It's a really good mana generator, and I'm hoping this is not going to die. But hey, if this dies and this dies, we have another thing doing double skull damage versus burning, and we're still fine, and a Shegra down here. So if you lose a troop on this team, it's not that big of a deal. Do we have this? No. So let's cast this. On the first. Didn't get an extra turn. Ooh, they hit me. We're almost dead in our first slot. And they did it. That's the first time I've lost a troop. In the epic trials. It's fine, though. Let's do this. We're still okay. And they drained me. That's annoying. I don't know if we should, but I'm going to. Yep, shouldn't have done that. Skulls again. We're getting close. I don't think we're going to lose or anything. Let's try to get Shegra. Ooh, we got her. Get out of here. Bang. Only bad part about Shegra is sometimes you'll have leftover skulls and then they'll use them. Might be a good time to cast her. We got this right here, which is pretty close. But we'll do this first, right? Make more red and then cast it. And we win. I lost one troop, no big deal. It hung in there for 80% of the fight, did its job as a tank. Let us kill like 2 or 3 of their enemies first. So yeah, if you want to move the team around, it's really not that big of a deal. You can move it around if you want to. Just recommend having something that's doing double skull damage to burning in first slot. And the way I'm doing it here is working for me so far. Eventually I might do like this. I might do that. Maybe put this ahead of that. I don't know. But for now, Shegra is not needed till later in the battles. I want to get Volcanic Golem up. I want to cast it, burn everybody. I want to use that 50% skull reduction. He's the only one on... Or no, actually Taraxis has it too. But he's the only one that has that and the... It's not true either, but he burns... He's the only one that has burn, 50% skull reduction, and double skull damage to burning. He has all 3 of that, so he deserves to be in first slot. This thing has some of that. It just doesn't burn. And I want it further down to make the brown to get up Shegra and Volcanic Golem. This thing just seems like it does way more mana generation. This thing won't have alignment sometimes. And you're definitely not trying to do this damage to all enemies, and that's not the way to win. You're mostly using it for the blue to brown to get up Shegra and Volcanic Golem, not to chip them down with 42 damage to all enemies. That's going to take all day. Even 2-to-1 boost ratio, you know, it's still going to take all day to do it that way. You want to use the double skull damage versus burning. You want to use the Shegra with the tons of skulls. You know, you want to do skulls. You could do this too. I mean, it's going to help. It's going to chip down, but it's not the main way to kill. The spell damage seems like it's almost never the way to go with these epic trials. It's usually some sort of trait combo with a spell, it seems like. So remember, you got a brown and blue banner, by the way. And yeah, that's how I would go about it. And that was too long. I think that's everything, right? We still got Legends Reborn, of course. I'm trying to think. The new Mythic is still there. You still got Legends Reborn. So make sure you do this before the week is over. Yeah, that's about it. Let me know how many vault keys you got. How many did I get? Let me show you. I started with 150. I had 150 vault keys. Alright, so I have 477. That means I got 327 just regular vault keys, and then I got 41 epics. 368. I got 368 vault keys this past weekend, which is pretty good. I'll take it. I wish I could have got 400 or 500, but 368 is good enough for me. So let me know how many you got in the comments. Also, Faction Assault video tomorrow. Live stream Wednesday, 10 a.m. EST. Class event video Thursday. Friday, we got bounty teams video early morning. And then Saturday, 10 a.m. EST, the next live stream. Like, share, subscribe. Consider joining. Helps a lot. Tell your good about the channel, comment below. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.